Hey everyone, it's Stu here from 3B. As some of you may know, I've been overclocking my EVGA RTX 2080 Ti Black Edition and getting some amazing results. And then I wanted to push that further by water cooling not only the GPU but also my entire system. Currently I have an all-in-one from Corsair, which is the 115i, which for the CPU has been doing an incredible job. But I wanted to take that a step further and really push it. But I've got a story to tell, a one of woe, a one of frustration, and a one of where it was like, fuck it, I'll send it back. Stay tuned. So as you guys know, I like fiddling with things, so to speak, and I really wanted to get the best from a pretty, strong PC that I've got. I've got a Threadripper 1950X, I've got some really hardcore decent RAM, I've got a good GPU, it's a good motherboard, it's a good system all round, and I'm very happy with it. From the get-go, when I got the Threadripper, I wanted to overclock I wanted to cool that with just an all-in-one, just to keep it very simple. And I've been really happy with what Corsair all-in-one system has done, and it keeps it really cool. With the GPU, on the other hand, I've had a 1080, then a 1080 Ti, then a 2080 Ti. Ever since kind of when I've been building out the system, and the prior system I had before that, actually, if I look back. So yeah, the whole feeling was that I wanted to reduce noise because that comes through on this microphone, and I just wanted to keep things cooler, and by keeping things cooler, that potentially extends the lifespan of these things, even though I'm usually ending up upgrading them pretty soon before, any potential lifespan problem comes into effect. With that in mind, I went to a very popular, I'm not going to name them, a very popular, well-known UK overclocking company who provide solutions to people who want to overclock their water cool their PCs and get the best advice and get the best equipment. To that end, I thought, well, possibly the best thing for me to do is to seek advice from the people that know. So I went to their website and I got the advice from one of their salespeople, who then bundled a whole system. And I told them sort of my budget, and then it became apparent that when I got some of the gear, that the water block for the CPU wouldn't actually fit, even though he said that it would. And then I had to order a new water block for the entire Threadripper, rather than use what he said was a bracket that would be able to allow me to use it, which was not correct. So I got the new CPU water block, and I had everything else, and then I take it, because you trust people's advice, certainly with a company that's got a reputation for giving good advice and providing solutions for water cooling and overclocking and what have you, certainly in the UK and in Europe. And then I took that, and then I took out my PC, and then I was building everything in. I put the CPU water block in, I put the radiators in. Everything was looking really good. I was really happy with the results. And then I was taking apart my GPU, following the instructions on the GPU water block, and then I noticed that it said, do not use with the Fluid Gaming kit from EK Waterblocks. And this was an EK Waterblocks GPU cooling block as well. And I looked, and it was like, well, that's what I've got. And then it dawned on me. I looked on, you sort of become a little bit blind. You trust these people that give you the advice and then package these things together and then send them to you. And then it dawned on me. It's like, well, hold on. You can't mix nickel and aluminium, copper, nickel, and aluminium. the aluminium will just go. You know? I thought, wow, this is ridiculous. So I thought, well, can I salvage any part of it and then get them to? And I thought, well, as the radiator, that's aluminium. Obviously, the water block and the GPU block are copper nickel, nickel coated copper, I should say, and yeah, and I just thought, oh, by the time I've got new plugs, new fixtures for it, a new radiator, the whole kit that I would have bought would be pretty much redundant other than the pump, which was a really sort of basic pump and reservoir system that they do that's kind of old. I was paying over the odds for that, really, and throwing a lot away. And a lot of it I couldn't then kind of resell because it was aluminium and it didn't have their own box or anything. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have to return it all. So as a result of all my drama, I then, in one day, I took everything apart, almost installed everything, took my GPU apart, ready to install the water block for that. Then I had to then take everything back out again, rebuild my GPU, rebuild my system again, and then contact this company. And as you can see from the box behind me, everything's going back. So what next? Well, for me, I think the next thing that I can do is I'm going to go for the EVGA do a I can't remember what they call it. It's a fan and a water block, but it's not a complete water block cooling system. It just cools the GPU, and the fans cool the rest. So there's a small fan and then there's a water cooling block, and it's an all-in-one basically, and it's a small single fan radiator as well, and it's £130, $150 or so. So I think when that becomes available, I will go that route, keep everything as an all-in-one. For now, just not bother too much with having an all-in-one a whole loop water cooling solution. I've had one before. It worked absolutely well, absolutely fine, and was relatively easy to install. But it's just fortunate that, because I was in that moment where I was installing stuff and not really paying too much attention to the things on the box, because you trust the people that are giving you the advice and then sending it to you. As I said, I'm not going to name the company in question. I think it was just maybe a salesperson that didn't particularly know the differences, that the EK fluid gaming system is actually aluminium. That's the reason why it's relatively cheap, whereas everything else in the water cooling, water block world, potentially most of the time is copper. So, yeah, that's my update. To that end, I will be doing a streaming thing this afternoon. I haven't decided. It will be a surprise, so it would be good if you could join me, and I'll probably whinge even more. Who knows? But I'll give you an update on where I am with the water cooling system from EVGA using their hybrid. That was it, the hybrid system. And hopefully when that becomes available, I'll then do a further update on that. So that's where I am. It's frustrating, but I'm glad I caught it in time. Thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and all that other malarkey. Have a great day, and I'll see you later in the streaming. Take care.